What up guys, Gozen here for AnimeUproar, and I cannot believe how many comments we've been getting about the topic of this video and how many people wanted to see a video about it. And I can't blame you, because I too was going crazy about the fusion between Cusack and Chandler, otherwise known as the Sinner or the original demon, alternatively translated as the first demon. If you guys want to see more videos like this one, make sure to let me know by smashing that like button and subscribe and ring that magic YouTube bell if you want Merlin to teleport future 7 Deadly Sins videos straight to your phone. And if you just can't get enough 7 Deadly Sins content, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AnimeUproar. You can find the link in the description, and if you still feel like praising the sun, you can go to AnimeUproar.com and get yourself an Escanor Praise the Sun shirt and share in Escanor's glory and support the channel at the same time. Fans of the channel can get 25% off, just use the code UPROAR25 at checkout. Obviously, if you haven't figured it out yet, there will be cutting edge spoilers in this video. We're literally talking about the most up-to-date chapter, so you've been warned. So let's recap what happened in chapter 292. Just as Merlin had Cusack where she wanted him, the memories of Estarosa's true identity begin flooding back to Merlin, which seems to hurt her mind and distract her, giving Cusack the chance to escape from her grasp. Ludoshel seems to be in much more pain, which makes sense since Estarosa used to be his own little brother Mael, so he would take it harder than most. Escanor returns to his buff form because of the sun that was charged in Rita. The realization of the truth about Mael came to most as a shock and impacted them right in their very souls, and the closer someone was to him, the greater the impact. Zeldris is funny here because he's completely fine and says he never once looked up to Estarosa as a brother, but is in fact relieved, which is hilarious. Zeldris is surprised when Cusack asks him to leave a recovered Escanor and Merlin whose true power seems bottomless to himself and Chandler. He thinks it's time to strike, but Cusack wants him to preserve his power for when the other sins come. Cusack and Chandler say this is their duty, and they touch staffs, which initiates the fusion. Lucky they didn't have to do a fusion dance. But seriously, there's so much Dragon Ball influence in the 7 Deadly Sins that seeing two characters fuse, even if they were one before, doesn't surprise me. Nakaba the mangaka has said in the past that he was influenced by Dragon Ball, and that Dragon Ball is one of the reasons he loves drawing muscles in his characters. And the fact that characters have power levels is probably an influence from Dragon Ball too. More on the similarities between Dragon Ball and the 7 Deadly Sins later, but let's get back to this fusion. They say that once long ago, in order for the Demon King to rule over the underworld, he created one certain demon. Naming it the original demon, the Demon King granted it his power as his most trusted retainer. But the sinful demon of origin took great hubris in his own strength and started a rebellion to take the Demon King's throne for his own. Of course, after overtaking the demon, it receives a great and dire punishment. Its entire body and soul was torn into two, and it was given an important duty. They were to be the instructors to the two princes and to raise them to be candidates for the next Demon King. Then they turned into their original form, the form of the Sinner, the original demon, and Merlin says, as of now, the gang has lost all chance of victory. We also got Bond returning, and the manga tells us he returned with the strength he gained in Purgatory, so you can bet he's gonna get an upgrade, and we have Meliodas set to come back as well. This chapter was absolutely insane, and I can't wait for the next one, but let's have some fun and focus on the original demon for now as we wait for it to come. If we remember back to chapter 247, the Demon King supposedly split his strength in half and granted it to his servant. But the power was so great that it even threatened his own position, so he devised a much safer method of controlling the demon world without ever granting any one person too much power. And so the 10 commandments were born, each having a fragment of the Demon King's power. At first, I thought this original demon would be a throwaway line. I completely forgot about this first servant until now, but it appears that this servant was none other than the fusion of Cusack and Chandler. So the original demon got half of the Demon King's power level. Some of you suggested in the comments that the Demon King might have split his power in half twice. Once when he gave the power to the original demon, and again when he gave the power to the 10 commandments. If that were the case, and he didn't recover any power back from the original demon but just split him in two, then the Demon King's power might originally be even greater than at first thought. We were discussing the possibility in the all power levels ranked video of every commandment representing a power level of 28,000 because Esterosa rose from 60,000 to 88,000 after gaining one more commandment. Some of you said that that theory would make a land have a negative power level, since his total is 27,000, but remember he can go up to 40,000 in critical over mode, so perhaps we can view his weaker mode as a way of hiding / saving power, while his stronger mode better utilizes his commandment. Again, this theory might be incorrect because the 10 portions of the Demon King's power might not be equal, or they may grow exponentially when added together, more on that later, but I just wanted to address it anyways here for fun. Hypothetically, if that were the case, then the Demon King's power would have been 28,000 times 10, the number of commandments, then times 2, which equals 560,000. Now, if we know we split his power once before, then we are looking at an original power level of 1,120,000. That would make the original Sinner's power level at least 560,000 if the Demon King gave him about half of his power, since we don't know how strong the Sinner originally was. However, let's approach the power level of the original demon from another angle. We know that Cusack has a power level of 168,000, and that Chandler has a power level of 173,000, before they are empowered by the nighttime, which according to Chandler makes a demon all the stronger. I saw some comments that simply added these two power levels together, saying that the original demon had a power level of 341,000. Perhaps this is correct, and in the nighttime it would rise to 560,000, which would go with the 28,000 power level per commandment theory. This is one possibility. However, another is what I mentioned in the previous video. What if the Demon King's different powers don't simply add up when put together? What if they grow exponentially? I read recently that the fusion between Goten and Trunks that results in Gotenks doesn't simply add their two power levels, it multiplies them. So Gotenks' power level is Goten's power level multiplied by Trunks' power level. Since, as I mentioned, we know for a fact that the 7 Deadly Sins was influenced by Dragon Ball in many ways, perhaps this is the key to how we should go about power scaling the original demon. Rather than simply adding their powers, we might have to multiply them. So 173,000 times 168,000. Now we are entering figures that are practically worth being called unmeasurable, since the power level would be 29,064,000,000. I mentioned in the last video that on page 149 of volume 15 of the manga, there's a special page of the manga where we are told that there was an example of a mutated species of Grey Demon existing in the past with a combat class beyond measure. Again, I didn't think too much of this, like I didn't think too much of the Demon King's servant, until one of you in the comments mentioned that this mutated Grey Demon could be the one that the Demon King gave half of his power to. If the power level is in the billions, I get why it would be called unmeasurable, since so far we only measured power levels as far as 201,000. Again, just a theory, but it's an interesting one. So the point of this video wasn't to come up with a definitive answer for the power level of the original demon, which is impossible with the information we have now. But since a lot of you guys were curious, I wanted to spark a discussion with some possibilities. Let me know in the comments what you believe. There is no doubt that this power level is gonna be ridiculous, since the usually cool-headed Merlin even said that they have lost all chances of victory, even with her bottomless magic and Escanor's amazing strength. Since she said lost all chances of victory, she could even be suggesting that even if the other sins arrived, they would still have no chance of winning, since that would be in the realm of possibility. All I know for sure is that this manga is getting so crazy right now. I enjoyed this chapter so much, and I'm sure the next one is gonna be just as interesting, and we'll hopefully get some power levels too. The only issue is that the chapters are so good that you breeze through them without noticing, and then you have to wait another excruciating week to know what happens next. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as we wait together for the next amazing chapter. Again, we can't take any of these theories too seriously because they are only that, theories, but I hope that we can get some good discussions going in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, definitely smash that like button to let me know, and subscribe and ring that magic YouTube bell so Merlin can do her thing. You can now pick up your very own Praise the Sun Escanor t-shirt at AnimeUproar.com, link in the description. It's only for hardcore Sun praisers, and fans of the channel can get 25% off by using the code UPROAR25 at checkout. And remember, if you just can't get enough 7 Deadly Sins content, you can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AnimeUproar. Link for everything in the description. And until next time, see you, Sun Praisers.